webinar from AlfaPeople. The time is 10 o'clock and we will kick off. Today we will talk about system integration with your ERP and Business Central. Before we get started, I just want to highlight that we are recording this seminar. We will also share this recording together with a survey and a presentation. You're free to ask questions during the presentation, but there's also a Q&A in the end that we can take advantage of. On today's agenda, we will be introducing me, first of all. Then we will talk a bit about who AlfaPeople is. Then we will define what an integration is and how it can help your business. Then we will look a bit into integration strategies, a bit about Microsoft Dynamics Business Central capabilities and how you can integrate to this ERP, a real-life example that utilizes some of these strategies, and then some key takeaways in the end. First of all, my name is Troels Thisted, and I'm a delivery manager here at AlfaPeople. My responsibility is to deliver Business Central to our customers together with my team. AlfaPeople, we are a leading Microsoft Dynamics 365 partner. We are present in 14 countries. We have 650 employees globally. We are certified to a very large extent on all of the Dynamics products, and we have 500 active customers globally. We're very proud that we are a part of the inner circle at Microsoft, and that basically means that we are a top 1% of worldwide partners. So, down to the point here. What is an integration and how does it help your business? So first of all, I want to define what an integration is in the context of an ERP system. What it means is that it means that we can connect two different software applications and they can share data in between each other. The quick example here is your ERP system like Business Central that manages your finance and your e-commerce system like a webshop that manages your sales and your orders from your customers. When you integrate these two, a customer can buy a product on your webshop and afterwards this order is automatically sent to your ERP and it's ready for processing there. So super easy, you share data whenever an event happens on one of the systems. So what do we achieve with an integration when we look at it from a strategic perspective? We have, without an integration, when a customer places an order on a webshop, staff manually have to put in data into your ERP or your Business Central. The inventory is not synced between the two systems, and finance afterwards with payments are not really reconciled. So it means that you have a slower process, you have more errors due to the manual input, and there's poor visibility on your data in both of the systems. With an integration, when a customer buys a product on your webshop, the order is synced automatically, like I told before, but afterwards, when that order is processed in BC, then the inventory needs to be regulated in both systems. This inventory then is pushed back to the webshop, and afterwards, when the payment arrives, it is also synced between. So, all in all, it means that a lot of automation is happening here without any manual input. So it means that you free up time for your staff to be able to work smarter and better and create more value for you as a company. I want to highlight some of the different integration methods, so you know that, because there is a lot out there, and it can be a jungle for businesses to identify which way to go. So I'm going to highlight some of the different methods, the most common ones, and some of the pros and cons that they have. First of all, different systems also have different integration methods. So a few of the systems here is some that you might know, but the common ones are the ERP, the CIM, web shops. Then we get down to the more specialized systems like product information systems, warehouse management systems. We have business intelligence, CPQ, and usually there's also some project management tools that you can use. But there's plenty more. There's also custom systems out there that have different ways to integrate to. The first one that is really known here in the Microsoft environment is the point-to-point integration. It basically means that you have two systems that are placed in the same environment and they can share data in between each other with simple setup. The common one here is in Microsoft, you can set up your CIM in the cloud together with BC, and they can share data with each other really easy. It's simple, it's fast, and the methods are known to partners out there. The only problem here is that whenever you have a lot of them, it's going to be hard to manage. It's going to be hard to manage for your IT department because some of them do it in different ways. But that is one of the easy ones to go to when it's there. Then we have the also an old one here, a file-based integration. So you have some files that you need to pick up. Usually this happens on a web drive like an FTP, and many legacy systems usually use this method to integrate to different systems. So they could deliver files and they could import them, so on and so forth. It's, like I just said, like easy for legacy systems to adopt to. It has a lot of it's prone to errors if data is not right in there and you update something in one system without letting the other system know what you changed and so on and so forth. It's easy to integrate to, but if you look down in the future, this could be something that you phase out at some point in time. Now we get to one of the better ones, in my opinion, at least. It's still a well-known integration method, the API-based one. It means application programming interface, so it is something that you can expose to your partners, so they can draw your data from your own system. It basically means that you can do some integration there. The common ways to do this is with REST APIs or SOAP APIs. It's Microsoft standard, SOAP is at least, and REST APIs is also something developers and people who usually do integrations work with on a day-to-day basis. So the good thing about API integrations is that it's real time, it's reliable, and it's really easy to scale if you have multiple systems you want to integrate with. The downside to the API one is that you need to have it well tested to your own system whenever you expose one. That's why whenever you want to use this, we recommend that you use a standardized one that is reliable and has been tested. Another common one that people usually know is the EDI one, electronic data interchange. This is a really common way to integrate to governmental companies. That's usually a requirement for that one. In the olden days, or 10 years ago, or something like that, it was also one of the common standards for B2B to be able to integrate that way. It has some really strict formatting on how it should look whenever you do this, and there's standards for the EDI. That's why it's also something that hasn't fallen off yet, and is something that's still being used today. A format that has gone through the ages that has been used in this way is the Edifact one, and it's like I said, it's like still being used. It's not very flexible, so it's hard to change the way you do integrate whenever you do these. There's a standard, you need to keep to the standard. So So it is always that way you need to go about it. And then you have the common, customer integrations here, or the custom integrations. I think that's a wrong spelling, but yeah, the custom integrations. Basically, custom integrations mean that you create an API based on your needs. So what I've highlighted in the picture to the right is what you can see, that you have an SQL or a database that holds a lot of different data, and it could be your ERP system with all of these different tables of data. And what it means is that I can then create an API that pulls some data from the items table, but also pulls some data from the debitor table, or your creditor table, or whatever you feel like is needed from your business. And then I'm exposing it in one API that some of your other systems or partners can then utilize. So it's tailored workflows that fits exactly your business whenever you do this. The downside to this is that it costs a lot to develop, because it's custom only to use. It's not something you can really use again in another business. And maintenance-wise, it's also going to cost a lot to keep on developing this and keep on maintaining it over the years. So this is something you need to keep in mind. Then I want to go a bit into the strategies and how you can embrace standardized APIs for your business. One of the common strategies that we can use whenever we do implement APIs is the push-pull method. It basically means that you can expose an API from one of your systems. In the picture I've highlighted to the right, we have a ordinary business who is utilizing 3 third-party apps. That's what I call them. And then they have a Business Central as an ERP. All of the systems has a API that they can expose. So Business Central has one, the webshop has one, the warehouse management system has one, and lastly, the product information system has one. So what you need to, whenever you do the push-pull, is one thing that you need to highlight. It is that who's actually doing the pushing and who's doing the pulling. What we saw in the past is that the older ERP systems were customized a lot to fit other needs. So whenever you had old Navision systems, for example, they were really customized to be able to pull data from all of these different third parties that you had. And basically it became messy in the end. And whenever you needed to upgrade, you need to go through all of your code and basically maintain it. And it's going to be really costly in the end whenever you do have to do a lot of custom code. Custom code can be okay to do, because as long as it fits your business and as long as it helps you along the way. But what I'm saying here is that if you want to have a strategy for this, I usually start from the context of the ERP system. So that's the baseline of your system. And whenever you do invest in an ERP system, this is something you want for a long time, because it's usually what holds all of the critical data. So if you start from that point and you want to go as standardized as possible, then it's also going to be easy for you to have your ERP for a longer time. What I see out there is that your third-party apps, or your apps that helps your business in general, these are some of the cheaper ones compared to the ERP, and it's something that you're more likely to change out. So I would look at your whole business as a whole, and then look at the different systems that you want to integrate to, and drill down into the longevity of the system. Is the system something that you're going to need in 5 years' time, 4 years' time, 10 years' time, so on and so forth? If it is, then the business case becomes stronger, and the risk becomes less, because you do know that you're going to integrate to a system that you're going to have for a long time. The next thing is, I always recommend our clients to use the standardized API that Business Central comes out with, and then deliver that API to your third-party apps, and they can do the integration there. So there needs to be, whenever you use this push-pull method, there needs to be some code written in either your ERP system or in your webshop, VMS, or your product information system. So yeah, one last recommendation whenever you do the push-pull method is let it be event-based. So that is for the automation part. So whenever you do, for example, post an order or the customer buys something on the web shop, let that event be able to handle the pushing and the pulling here. So it's gonna push at the same time push the order into Business Central. And whenever I do post the order into Business Central, there's gonna come some pushing back to the web shop or so on and so forth. Yeah, of course, whenever you do integrations, everything becomes more complex. That is something we need to keep in mind. But this pushing and pulling, it's a really flexible and it's a really speedy way to implement integrations. And the good thing here is that it's well known with REST APIs and SOAP APIs. It's well known for developers, so it's not something that's gonna be overly expensive whenever you look at it as a whole. This method is best used for smaller businesses that wants to eliminate manual work and do more automation whenever they do have multiple systems in their portfolio. So one of the more fun strategies here is where you use an integration platform. This has been a more common approach in the last few years since it helps you have a more standardized way to actually do your integrations. So if you look at the picture to the right, we have a Business Central that is connected to a integrations hub, you can call it, in the middle, the gray one. And this integrations hub is usually a vendor or a partner that helps you as a business with your integrations. It delivers the platform, and this platform can then integrate in between, well, almost any third party or ERP systems that you need. The really cool thing about this is that if all of the third-party apps expose their API to the integrations hub, you don't do any custom code in those at all. And the same goes for your ERP system or your Business Central. For example, if the web shop and the PIM system they want to draw out or pull items from Business Central that is stored there, then they can use the same API that Business Central delivers. So you don't have to do any new pushing and pulling for the same, basically the same process. This is all handled in the integrations hub. So you can kind of say that the integrations hub, it acts like it translates data, because that you need to always do some connecting whenever you do integrate, because a debitor name is not always a debitor name in the web shop. It could be a customer name and customer address, so on and so forth. So there needs to be some translation here with data, but this is a really easy way to manage. And I've seen customers who can do this all on their own, so they actually adopt the platform to themselves, and your own employees can actually use the platform and do the integration themselves without any help from the vendor. If you look at scalability, this method is by far the best one. It's really scalable, and the good thing here is that you can change your third-party apps or platforms really easy, and still utilize the work that's already been done. It's secure, and it's really easy to maintain whenever you do have the knowledge in-house. But of course, you can also buy it at the vendor. The downside here is that there's an extra licensing cost on top. Sometimes it can be a rather expensive solution. Some of the vendors that does the integration platform, they charge a fee for every integration pull or push that is coming through. And if you do a lot of these, I've seen I've seen systems that does this maybe 50,000 times a day, and if it's 10 cent for every push and pull, then it can become a lot of money. Though I don't know anything about the cost, but it's just an example. Of course, this is added complexity, and if only one guy in your company knows how this works and he quits, then it's going to be rough. Of course, you can buy the help from the vendor, and yeah, it kind of evens it out. So the last thing I want to highlight for this strategy is that it's really well suited for mid to large corporations, and yeah, it's really easy to scale up with this one, and it can last a lot of years whenever you do. So a bit about Dynamics Business Central, the capabilities that is used in the CRP system. As you can see here, it basically covers all the different aspects that a company could need. Why am I highlighting this? This is basically because the standard API that we can expose from Business Central can deliver all of these different data. In the API. So it's really easy to expose these in a standardized way without doing any custom code. The other strategy or example that I want to highlight is that on top of Business Central, there is a app store, or as Microsoft calls it, the app source. And this is also an example of the point-to-point integration that I highlighted in the start. This is a place for other companies to place their app, so it integrates easy to Business Central. What it means is that if I'm a third-party vendor who does, let's say, timesheets for companies, then I can make an app for Business Central, and then the integration happens seamlessly. There's no custom code, and the third party has the responsibility to actually maintain this. So whenever you do upgrade your system from one Business Central version to the next, then the third party needs to update their app as well. So it's a really safe and easy way to actually, whenever you do go and look at third-party apps, then you can also check the app source. If they have an app in there, then it kind of means that you're on a safe path to doing easy integrations, and it's not going to cost as much as doing the development. So this is also a really cool thing. A real life example. This is an example I had with an e-commerce client who had several legacy systems that they needed to integrate to. As you can see on the picture to your right, we implemented a new Business Central in the cloud with standardized APIs and utilized a integration hub in the middle. They had an old website, and basically what they told us in the start was that we need to pick a new platform for our webshop in the future. We don't know if it's going to be in half a year or a year. So how could we utilize that moving forward? What we did is that we exposed all the standard APIs from Business Central that the integration hub picked up, and then we did the exact same thing at the old webshop. Then whenever we had all the processes and all the flows between the two systems set in place, and maybe they went like six months or so, they decided to update their webshop. And what it means is that we then got the new platform set up, but we still used the old APIs that were set up for Business Central. And it just meant that the client had a minimal impact on their processes, but also on their risk on how long the development set would take for this way to go about it. Us as an ERP vendor, we didn't really care because we didn't change anything. They still utilized the same API, the same data were sent back and forth. We just helped a bit with the testing. So super easy. We have reached the end now. I have some key takeaways for you guys to take home with you here. Is integrations, they do help you minimize your manual labor or work, and it will increase automation for you. The downside is also whenever you do integrations, there's gonna be some extra complexity that you need to manage. So consider the longevity of your systems before you do your integrations approach, so you know, well, you guess a bit, I guess. You guess a bit on the future, on what systems are you going to use in the future and how does it look. So yeah, having an integration strategy, it will minimize your errors as well from manual input. So, but if you do want some help on this and some help on this, you're free to contact us. We will really like to help you on this.